welcome to Lisa's Stamp Studio. My name is Lisa Curcio. Today is Monday, April 19th, and the year is 2021. This is a YouTube live streaming event, and I am so glad that you're here with me, whether this is your first time to my channel or you're returning. Thank you for being here tonight. And it's a big night here in the studio. I'm just going to tell you up front, you're not going to want to leave for just even a second because there's stuff going on all night long, clear to the end. You're not going to want to miss that announcement as well. Now, tonight, I have a super fun to make interlocking gatefold for you. In addition to the card I'm going to be demonstrating, I have 3 other cards to share with you for a total of 4 cards. 2 are going to be in one orientation and 2 in another, because I want to give you lots of inspiration tonight. In addition to that, I'm going to teach you a coloring trick tonight that you may not know that's going to give you a whole new look on your stamps. As always, during tonight's live, shortly around, maybe halfway point, we're going to put a link down in the video description below, which will lead you over to the pictures, cutting dimensions, and the supplies for today's project. Now, I want to tell you how to find it. When you scroll down to the video description, which is below the title, go down about halfway and you'll find that link. If you click on it, it navigates you over to my website. And scroll down a little bit further and there's a red box that says download card measurements and supplies. It's all there for you. And here's the great thing. All 4 cards are part of that download for you to make it super easy. You can download it, you can print it, or save it to your computer. Now, a couple other things before we get started. Like I said, you're not going to want to miss a thing. First and foremost, I want to introduce you to Megan. Megan's name is here in blue and has a small wrench next to it. She is a dear friend, and she is also my moderator here during the live event because, quite frankly, it is impossible to keep up with your comments and stamp at the same time. So Megan is here to help interact and answer your questions. So thank you to Megan. The other thing is we love to interact with you. So please do us a favor and log into your YouTube account, which is your Gmail address, so that you can chat with us either during the live stream or even if you're here watching the replay. Okay, so big announcement number 1. If you like free stuff, I got you tonight. I am giving away 5 bundles of products. That would be the stamp set with the coordinating dies. Now, I want to give you all the rules on how to enter, so listen carefully. The first one is super duper easy because you're right here. You need to click that thumbs up bundle, that thumbs up icon. I'm getting all excited about the bundles. Click that thumbs up icon. That's right underneath the video title. That will highlight for you. That means you gave the video a like. That's number 1. Number 2, you are going to share this video by clicking that little share button with the arrow over to your Facebook page. But super important, you've got to put a comment in the share when you share it on Facebook. The hashtag has to be Lisa's YouTube Live Giveaway. Now, it's one whole word. No punctuations, no hyphens. Lisa's YouTube Live Giveaway. I'm actually reading it because I want to make sure I got it right for you. I wrote it down to make it easier. So you'll see this again, Lisa's YouTube Live Giveaway. You need to do both of those things, including the hashtag, to be eligible. Hashtags before the 8 p.m. Eastern Time live stream count did not count for the giveaway. And we are cutting off the live stream giveaway at 8:50 p.m. and the winners will be announced right here on my YouTube community tab at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, keep in mind, this is strictly for the live stream. So if you're watching the replay, we're super glad that you're here for the inspiration. But please keep in mind the giveaway is for the live stream. So go ahead and do that now. We would love to have you enter. I am going to show you the bundles that I'm going to give away. I'm going to do that really quick because I want to get to the stamping part. And do me a favor, don't leave before tonight is over because I have a huge announcement for you for later this week. All right, are we ready? Let's go ahead and turn the camera down and let's get you all zoomed in. Here we go. Okay, I am testing out my tripod again, trying to make this as straight as possible for you guys. And I'm just going to shimmy this up just a little bit. Thanks. If I'm making you dizzy, I apologize. All right. Lisa's YouTube Live giveaway. There you go. All right, I'm going to push that off to the side for just a moment, and let's talk about the freebies. Now, I rubber band together because I am ready to get these in the mail to you. The first is this Timeless Tropical. It's going to be the stamp set and the In the Tropic dies. Brand new product, never used, and headed towards you. So make sure you follow those rules for the giveaway. The second one is the In Bloom bundle stamp set and the pierced bloom dies. So that's number 2. And number 3 is Birds and Branches. So the stamp set and the coordinating Birds and More dies. That's number 4. Number 5, hey, if you were here with me last week, you saw this on Wednesday. It's the Welcoming Window stamp set and the coordinating window flower box dies. If you missed that live event, go here to my YouTube channel under the videos. You're not going to want to miss all those cards I shared with that. And then last and certainly not least is this Nothing's Better Than stamp set and the coordinating Love You More Than dies. So you're going to be getting all of these to 5 lucky winners. So make sure that you enter that giveaway. Just to reiterate, for those of you hopping on right now, there is a way that you need to enter to qualify. It is only during the live stream. It's going to end at 8:50 p.m. Eastern time today. You must like today's video by giving it a thumbs up. Number 1, super easy because you're right here. Number 2, you need to click and share this video on your Facebook page using this specific hashtag. Make sure you've got no punctuation. It's got to be one long word. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern time, right here on my YouTube channel, you'll see the community, the word community across the top. If you click on that, there's like a bulletin board there, and we're going to list those random winners that are going to be chosen by Google. So keep in mind, that's the way to qualify. Let me stick that all off to the side for right now, and let's get stamping. I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer because we're going to start by doing a little bit of scoring. And I love my trimmer because of that scoring and that cutting blade. So if this is your first time at my channel, this is a beloved tool here. I use it all the time. And I love that you can keep them on the track at the same time. So they navigate up and down out of the way. There is an extension arm that goes well past 17 inches on that trimmer. Super compact and easy to use. And I love that clear cutting guide. So to make the interlocking fun fold for this card, we're going to do one score line at 2 1/8 of an inch. There is a ledge here at the top. There's also one at the bottom to make sure that your cardstock is nice and straight. And I love that because I don't do anything straight. That first score line is going to be at 2 1/8, and I've got it all lined up. And then I am going to score. Okay, that is it. I know that seems kind of simple, doesn't it? That's all there is to that. When you make a gatefold of any type of card, the easiest way to do it is just to do that one score line. So I'm just going to fold this up. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my bone folder and I am going to press on that score line. So that's going to give me that first side. The other side, of course, we need that hinge. And the easiest way to make sure you don't have a gap is not necessarily to score it. It's just to take this end and meet it in the center. And then once they meet, just take your bone folder and go over that and create yourself a really pretty crease. That makes it foolproof and you don't ever have to worry about a gap. It's going to meet beautifully. All right, I am now going to actually do some decorating on here. So let's go ahead and bring in some paper. Now this one, I cannot wait to show you. Look at this. I think this paper is well overlooked in the catalog. Good news, it's going to carry over to the new catalog that releases on May 4th. This is Rainbow Glimmer paper. Now, for those of you that are like me and love sparkle, you're probably looking at this going, oh, I love that, but I don't like the mess. Well, I got news for you. Can you hear me rubbing it? No mess. They have done an amazing job making this paper. It's thin enough to die cut without any problems whatsoever. In addition to that, it's going to make gorgeous backgrounds. Now, I got a little strategic tonight, and I cut myself some pieces that are going to be layered on those little interlocking gate folds, which are here. You're going to notice because of the length of my paper, I actually didn't choose this portion. Keep in mind that you can use this in any ombre fashion that you choose, which makes this incredibly versatile. And it's super, super affordable. You're going to be able to find that product as well as all the products I share with you tonight over in my online store at lisastampstudio.com. And I offer exclusive and generous ordering rewards. Now I have my Stamp and Seal Plus here, and that is my adhesive of choice. So I'm going to add a little adhesive here, and we are going to border that now on a piece of black cardstock. Now look how striking this is. Now I cut these just about 1/8 of an inch different, and I'm going to adhere those together. So we've got one here, and let's go ahead and do the other one. And I'm going to flip that over, adding a little bit more of that Stamp and Seal Plus, and another one here. This is a question I get all the time. How do you get it so even? Well, I stand when I craft, and I find by hovering over that layer, I have a better chance of getting it nice and even. So I'm going to flip this over now, and let's add a little bit of adhesive to the back side here. And then this is going to go on one side of the gatefold. Remember me telling you I don't do too many things straight? Okay, so I'm going to open this up and make this really easy for my hand. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for that yellowish tone here at the top, because that's where I'm going to want it. And then we're just going to adhere that in place. Now we're going to do the exact same thing now on this side. This is my silicone craft sheet, another beloved tool here in the studio. The reason I love it is because adhesive, liquid glue, and hot glue will not stick to it, which means I can rub it right off. Now we're going to go ahead and place this one here, and I'm mirroring that rainbow pattern. So I want to make sure that I've got my yellow here at the top. I'm turning it horizontally to make it easier for my hand so I can see that it's as even as I can possibly get it, and we'll press that in place. Now that in itself is striking, isn't it? Now while we have the card base already here, let's go ahead and stamp the inside. And I'm going to bring out my Memento black ink pad. And I am using a super duper fun stamp set. Yep, it's one of the ones I'm giving away. It's nothing better than super, super fun. And one reason I love this stamp set is A, it's not your typical stamp set, which always has my attention. And number two, if you love to color, you're in great shape. And if you don't like to color, you're still in great shape. There is a whole myriad of greetings here that you can build custom phrases, which makes this super fun. You're not going to want to miss ordering the More Than Love You dies because they go together. All right, so I'm going to put those off to the side. And I've pulled out a greeting from that stamp set that's going to coordinate beautiful with the front of this card. It's all going to come together for you in just a minute. So I'm inking that up on my Memento black ink pad. And because it's photopolymer, you should be able to get this fairly straight. And there we go. So I'm going to put that off to the side for right now. And we've got our card base. But this is where the interlocking part is going to come in. So let me grab a piece of paper. And I am going to do some stamping on here with some images. Now, I want to teach you a few things that I think you're going to find very, very interesting, especially if you're a brand new paper crafter. Like I said, there are outline images for this stamp set. So I've got one here for the chocolate, and I'm going to stamp that here. And then I've got another one for the little cocktail glass. This one's got the umbrella in it and a little slice of fruit. And I'm going to stamp that one here. Okay. Now, obviously, there are coordinating images to this, which you can use, and that will fill these. But I decided I wanted something a little bit different. I wanted something with multiple colors. So I decided to bring in my dye-based markers. Now, very, very important that you hear the word dye-based markers. You do not want to do this with an alcohol-based marker or a permanent marker. I've even been asked that because it will ruin your stamps. Dye-based markers are going to clean off your stamp very, very easily. Now I've got 3 colors here that I'm going to be using, and I just thought it just coordinated really pretty with that rainbow paper. Now let's go ahead and let's work on that candy image first, because I want them each differently. So I have pulled out that solid image from the stamp set. Now you may instinctively think, ink it up and stamp, but you'd get one color. So let me show you what we're going to do. We're going to take the markers directly to the stamp. All the Stampin' Write markers are dual-ended, and you'll see a line here below the cap, and that indicates the tip size. I'm going to use that brush tip. That's the one that's safe for your markers. Now, because this is dye-based, it's going to work and it's going to dry pretty quickly, so we're going to work a little rapidly here. So I'm going to start, let's start over here, and I'm going to add my Daffodil Delight, and I'm literally coloring on that stamp, and I know that it's yellow and you can't see it, so bear with me. And then I'm going to do my Melon Mambo on this one. And last but not least, I think this is my Melon Mambo. That was my magenta. And I'm going to put that one here in the center. Now, like I said, it's going to dry very quickly. So you have to do what I call the Darth Vader technique. You have to huff on it. That was my breath that you heard. That's going to re-moisten that ink. And then you are going to press and it's going to stamp. I love this because if you can't line things up, you're in business because it's not meant to. You're meant to have that little shadowed white around the images for some highlighting. Love that. Now let's talk about another technique using those same markers to use here on that cocktail glass. Now I'm going to pull out that solid image for the base. Now you're going to see that I've used this before and it's got a little bit of a pink hue to it. The dye will stain the photopolymer, doesn't hurt it. As long as you clean your stamp before you put it away, you're good to go. So don't let that compromise you from using it in a lighter color. I am going to flip this upside down. When the colors are going to bleed together like this, it's very, very important that you start with the lightest color first. Super important. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that yellow, which is the daffodil, and I'm going to color the top half of that inside. Then I'm going to move down to the melon mambo, and I'm going to turn this to make it easy for my hand, just overlapping just a little bit. And then last but not least, and we're going to add our last shade here. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to huff on it one more time. That re-moistens the ink, and then we're going to stamp. Okay, so now not only do you have the color for your cocktail, you've got those cute little ice cubes that are part of that image. So I'm just cleaning that off camera. Now let's talk about the little fruit slice and the umbrella. Now that may look challenging to you, but it's not, because there are coordinating stamps for that. The first one is my little slice. Now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to turn this upside down and I'm going to use my marker. And I know right away you're thinking, why don't you just use an ink pad? Because it's just a solid single stamp. Well, I'm really glad that you asked. Here it is. I've just cleaned it. Here is the actual ink pad. This is the Daffodil Delight that matches it. I want to show you something. I'm going to ink this up and I'm going to stamp that here. Do you see the tone difference between when it's markered and when it's stamped? To create continuity in your image, use the same technique even on those smaller single stamps. Really, really important, unless you are purposely trying to highlight a certain area. All right, let's do the umbrella. And for that one, I think I'm going to go ahead and use that really pretty, marvelous magenta. And yep, there's a little image for that. And you'll see that it's kind of pink too from all my prior use. Apparently, I like pink umbrellas. And we're going to go ahead and marker that in as well. We're going to do that Darth Vader huff. That moistens it. And that's going to go right inside of here. And again, if you're wondering if it's just the lighter color that makes the difference, let me show you. This is the Magenta Madness ink pad. And I'm going to stamp that right here so that you can see the difference. Do you see how this has more of a linen look to it? And this actually has more of a solid stamp look. So again, keep with the consistency of the technique of your project for your entire image, unless you are purposely trying to find a more dense kind of coloring. All right, so there we go. Best part is that you can buy dies that go with this. So I've got one die here, and I've got another die here. And I love that because it makes my life super, super, super easy. Now, I want to talk to you about a product. I don't sell it, but you can head over to lisastampstudio.com, and under shop, there's craft room favorites. This is the Post-it note tape. And I have showed you this once before if you've visited. But you'll notice too that sometimes when you put these in your die cutting machines, that these have a tendency to slip. So what I do is I line it up the way I want it, and then I tack that right over the image, right over the die to hold that in place. And since these images use two separate dies, I can do that to both of these and then run it through my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. Lickety split, I don't have to worry about redoing it because my images get messed up. This is great stuff. Now, once it comes out of the die cutting machine, you know it compresses it. So what I recommend that you do is you peel off the die first, and then you remove the tape. And here's the best part. You want to know what I do with this tape? I don't throw it away, because I found that this Post-it note tape, you can use it over and over again. I actually stick it right to the side of my Stamp and Cut and Emboss machine. This is a fabulous thing. You're going to love it. I used washi tape and Post-it note for years, and I found that those were tearing through the compression much more. So I love that for die cutting. All right, I have those die cut for you here just to save a little space and time because we got so much fun going on tonight. I'm going to push those off to the side. Now, I've got two pieces of cardstock here. They're both white cardstock, and you're going to find all the measurements in that download. Remember, I told you I've got a free download for you. But this is where it's going to house those images, and this is where I'm going to do some stamping to kind of play all of this together. So I'm going to go back to that Memento black ink pad, and I'm going to pull in another greeting from that stamp set. And it says, today's plan, consume. And you're probably thinking, okay, we're going to consume. Yes, we are. So I'm going to put that right here in the black. And again, I'm choosing that to bring continuity to that layer. And this is the word chocolate. And again, you can see now I've used that in a pink ink before, but that's not going to hurt it. I like to, when I have solid stance, give it a little twist on my ink pad, especially with that Memento. It's got a linen base. And I am going to stamp that right over here. And then we're going to lift. And then on this side here at the bottom, yep, there's a stamp that says cocktails. So I'm going to do the same thing, give that a little twist in my ink pad and then stamp just to get those solid little letters filled up really, really good. And then I'm going to gravitate this one now on this side, because remember, this is going to be a fun fold when we're finished. All right, I'm cleaning that right off camera, and I am going to cap that ink pad, because an open ink pad around here is a recipe for disaster. I'm going to slide those off to the side, and here comes my silicone craft sheet once again. That should always be an indication to you that it's time to add some adhesive, and that's what we're going to do here. I have black layers for this as well, so I'm going to flip that over. I've got my Stampin' Seal Plus here, and let's go ahead and add some to the back. That Stampin' Seal Plus is extremely strong, so you don't need to cover every inch of your paper. This is something I have learned over the years of crafting. If you buy good things, it's going to make a huge difference in how easy it is for you to paper craft. And then we're going to go ahead and add to this piece as well. So now we've got our layers, and this is all going to come together beautifully in just a few minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add that border all the way around. All right, now let's take these pieces now to that card base. Remember, this is just a regular gatefold right now. We've got our greeting all ready to go. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about this interlocking gatefold itself. We're going to actually put these pieces here, and I measured them so that they would go to the edges on purpose. Keep in mind, when it's your card, it's never wrong. So if you want these shorter, that's totally fine. You can make these a little wider, and you can make them a little narrower to house the images and the greetings you're going to use. Don't you love that you can customize this fold? Fantastic. Now, there's lots of ways to do this, and I've got a couple other samples to share with you. I decided to hinge this top one to this left gatefold, okay? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip this over, but I want you to see something before I do that. Do you see here? This is where it's going to end. It's in the middle. So we're going to have to keep adhesive only to this left side, otherwise it's going to impede on the opening of the card. So I'm going to flip this over, and then I've got my Stampin' Seal Plus, and let's go ahead and just add a little adhesive here. If ever in doubt when you're making a fun fold for the first time, take yourself and make yourself a little pencil mark if necessary. Now I'm lining this up, and I'm going to eventually want these centered. So another important tip for you is to lay out the second panel so that you have an idea on spacing, because you want to try to get the spacing here and the spacing here to be about the same. Now, once you're happy with it, we're going to go ahead and press. Now we're going to work on this one, and obviously adhesive is going to go on this side, so we're going to flip that over, coming back to the Stampin' Seal Plus, and we're going to add a couple rows there. And this time we're going to do the exact same thing. Now the magic with this fold is when we go to open it. That's when it's going to be really, really fun. All right, so now we're all set up, and this is where our colored pieces are going to come in. So I've got my candy here, and I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back side. I just love that 3D lift look. I will tell you, here's a big Lisa Stamp Studio confession. I am a huge chocolate fan. I mean, huge. I have to have a little bit every single day, just as like my happy thing. All right, I used my Take Your Pick tool to tape off those paper backings. It makes that really nice and easy for these arthritic hands. And I'm going to gravitate this here towards the top on the left side. Now let's talk about this one. I am using my full-size dimensionals, and you're going to see that they're not going to fit in so those little tiny places. So I want to introduce you to the mini dimensionals, and you can see how much I love these. Because they're small, and I do have basal joint arthritis, which is down here, makes pinching really difficult. I love to use this tool to help me with that. Not only does it pick up small pieces of paper and sequins, it has interchangeable tips, and that piercing tip really is quite a champ for me. So I'm going to place that here. And if you find that one of these mini dimensionals is too big for some of the areas, like here, because I'm really going to be careful about bracing this, what I'm going to do next is you can actually cut a piece while it's right here on the paper backing. So let me just show you. Take it with your sticky scissors, that's what these are called, and then just cut it on the paper to make them even smaller yet. So for those of you that love those little intricate projects, this is a great tip for you. I keep an extra pair of scissors here in the studio that I put ribbon on. And these are designated for those yucky, sticky projects because none of us wants to gunk up our good ones, right? All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to remove those dimensional backings. I am not going to put one at the bottom, I don't think. Well, I think, you know what? I changed my mind. You're here and I cut them. And I'm like, why not use it and show you, right? So I'm picking it up off with my tool. That makes my life really easy. And that paper backing is small, so we're just going to pull that right off. And now what we can do is we can attach that here to this panel. Please keep in mind that if you're going to put a piece on a panel that's going to open or move, that you don't place a dimensional where it's going to impede. Remember, this one is anchored down. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach that here. Oh my gosh, look how cute. But wait till you see the other cards. So this now is going to open like this. The panels interact and they interlock. So fun. Okay, let me show you the other cards and don't go away because I've got a big announcement for you at the end. Now, this one is actually using another bundle of products that is currently available. This is in the current mini catalog, and it's called Prettiest of Birthdays. But I want to show you this one. Did you notice as I bend it, it goes different than this one. So I did left to right here, and this one I did right to left. Is there a right or wrong way? I don't think so. I don't think you can go wrong. I think it's just a matter of preference. And again, you're going to see that these panels are the same size, but I could easily change these in order to customize what it's going to hold. Now, let me show you these last two, which are totally different. So instead of going portrait, we are going landscape. So same thing here. I'm going to bend this and you're going to see I did right to left. Love this because the image I wanted to use certainly would not fit portrait, would it? I mean, it could have, but I wanted that long, real classy look to hold all these other pieces. And I wanted to have more room this way to add some more fun stuff to my card. So there's absolutely no right or wrong way to do that. So here's one more, and that's in the horizontal fashion. And here is one last one that's horizontal for you. Look, very few stamps. I used a really fantastic greeting, but I used punches to coordinate with my designer series paper. That's the Flowers for Every Season designer series paper. If it's not sold out, you don't need to walk, you need to run over to lisastampstudio.com and buy this paper because it is fantastic. It is a huge package and it's really reasonably priced, and that makes a really cute, simple birthday card, doesn't it? This is one of those cards you can make oodles of. All right, so there we go. We've got 1 and 2, and those are horizontal. And then I have 3 and 4, which are vertical. I would absolutely love to know which one of these favorites. While I turn the camera around, I want you to leave comments on your favorite below, and then I got some great news to share with you. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm reading all your comments. Thank you so much. I try to do a little bit of everything so you have a lot of versatile ideas to use throughout the entire year. Just think of Christmas cards. Wouldn't that be fun? And put a family photo inside? That would really be a great presentation, wouldn't it? All right, couple things. First of all, I want to give you the date for the next live, and then I want to tell you about something really special that's happening this week. Now, before I do that, don't forget, there is still the giveaway. I'm picking up my piece of paper. You got a few more minutes. It looks like you've got until 8:50, which is what you're doing right now. It's 8:25 Eastern time, give or take a minute here on my clock. Make sure you use the hashtag when you share on your personal Facebook page, and make sure you hit that thumb to the like button, which is the thumbs up. When you head over to lisastampstudio.com, not only can you shop and read about my rewards, I would love for you to sign up for my free weekly e-newsletter. If you scroll down there and it's your first time to visit, it's going to pop up for you. And you're wanting to sign up because I share a tutorial in that newsletter every week that is not shared on my other platforms. Step-by-step instructions, a picture, cutting dimensions for you to make a card at home. I would love to have you join us. It's a no-frills email, but you're always the first to know what's happening. And of course, that free tutorial every week. All right, are you ready? Okay, I'm going to tell you about something huge. First, I'm going to tell you the next live stream. I'm going to be back live with you next Monday, checking my calendar, which is April 26th. I think I wrote that date right. April 26th, which is next Monday. Live stream event for a fun fold you're not going to want to miss. But there's more this week. I have a very special event planned for you Wednesday, day after tomorrow, right here on my YouTube channel. It is a YouTube premiere. Now, if you're wondering what that is, that basically is like a movie premiere, which means we have an event we're going to share with you, and we are all going to watch it live unfold together. Now, it is a recorded version, but you're not going to want to miss it because guess what? There are 8, and I did say 8 projects that we're sharing with you, 2 of which are going to be demonstrated. And you may have caught that word, we. because I have a very special guest with me on Wednesday, and I promise you, you are going to love her. So I hope that you'll mark your calendars for this Wednesday, which is April 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And also, if you'd love to chat, come into the chat with us and sign into your YouTube channel 15 minutes early because we are going to be there to live interact with you during the live chat before the premiere starts. Popcorn, candy, and sodas, all optional, but we hope that you're going to be there for the fun. Thank you so much, Megan, for all your hard work. One last time, don't forget, you got some time left to enter that giveaway. We look forward to seeing you on Wednesday for the premiere. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye-bye.